All right, well, let's talk about some of your favorite episodes, Dale, because your favorite episodes not be the episode itself. It's probably because you got of the interaction or who the person was that you got to hang with.
Yeah, like I said, I sit with most of these people out front and speak with them for a while before we get started because, depending on what time they get here and what time everything is ready to go, sometimes I'll have to do the rain delay. And
that means I'm running behind.
Well, among other things, it just depends.
You call it just NHT, Nick Hyder time.
But yeah, and a lot of them are very personable folks, even though they're maybe famous or, or of a lot of importance,
right.
At some point. But of course, what my first one is. It's not going to be, you don't need three guesses for that.
No, I don't.
I am a huge Vanderbilt fan. Was raised that way. My dad and my uncle saw to that. And we had Tim Corbin out here.
Mm-hmm.
And everything I'd ever heard about him was measured up with what I had decided about him. He's very personable. Does not talk a lot about himself. He will steer the conversation back towards you and want to know a lot about you, which was very impressive, considering the things he's done and where he's been and whatnot. And when it was all over, I think he had Ubered out here or something.
Mm-hmm. I remember why. It was because they live so close to campus. Him and his wife only have one car.
Yeah, and
she needed it.
It's Mama's car, and I was blessed to be able to drive him back out to his office that day when it was over. That was fun. I'm 60 some years old at this point, and that was impressive to me.
You were an Uber driver, and you started and retired in the same day.
Pretty much.
He's still waiting on his paycheck for that. But tell the folks what happened after you, so you dropped him off, and
I did,
and that was it.
And dropped him off, and we talked. I actually had on a game-worn jersey that day, and he asked me where I had gotten it, and I said, "Well, I found it on eBay, believe it or not." And he could have probably told me who it belonged to, with the number on it or whatnot.
Right.
And I told him I enjoyed the game-worn stuff more than anything because it stands up. It's good quality stuff. And so I don't remember if he asked me when he got out of the car or up to you, but he wanted to know what my hat size was.
Mm-hmm.
And later in the mail, several days later, man has an amazing memory.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. Several days later, I got a package in the mail with a game hat like they were on the field. Mm-hmm. A sized hat. Those are great, as you well know.
Oh yeah.
They're hard to come by, and an autographed picture, and that was just really neat. I was impressed with that.
Yeah, and that's just kind of like the guy that he is, right? So, who are we've had some, we got the episode hadn't come out yet, but we got to go out to Vanderbilt. That was pretty cool,
yes.
Right? You were dealing with Clark's people.
Mm-hmm.
A fine run machine out there.
Absolutely.
Getting to the back, getting to go back behind the locked doors and set up everything. I mean, it was cool, right?
Absolutely. You see, what the facilities look like on the inside and actually where the team meets for meetings and sessions and whatnot. And I was just impressed with the folks out there because there was some hospitality there that I wasn't, I didn't know would or would not be there. You just never know when you're dealing with folks. And they gave us a little swag when we were out there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a lot of fun also.
It sure was. As a matter of fact, the swag, the hats they gave us, I'm pretty sure that's the one Clark wears on the sideline all the time.
It may be. And the young lady that we dealt with a lot is his assistant. Mm-hmm. And you will see her on the, should I give a name?
Sure. If you
Molly Hart.
That's right.
Nice young lady. She is right behind or on Coach Lee's side the whole time. Mm-hmm. She is trailing him. and she does a great job.
I agree. Who are some other guests that really like just maybe they were just the opposite of what you thought they were going to be, or you just people that just really like when you think about it, they took you back?
The one that comes to mind immediately is Dr. Ram, Dr. Christina Ram. I think people probably have a certain opinion of what scientists are like.
Yeah.
And she was just very personable, had a good sense of humor even. And she's big into the healthy eating thing and what's in the food and whatnot. And I recall a Taco Bell conversation.
Yeah.
In your office. And I love my Taco Bell. I hate to let go of that, but yeah, we had a lot of fun out of that.
When you get to your age, you don't have to let go of anything you don't want anymore,
Well,
right? You've earned everything you get.
I recall the great Wayne Hyder in those instances, and he was, which was Nick's grandfather, my uncle. I called him the family philosopher.
Yep.
But he had open heart surgery, I guess in his 60s. And he was an avid golfer. Several members of our family are. He had gone to play golf with one of our cousins after the heart surgery at some point, and they went to the grill after the round was over, and Wayne ordered a great big greasy hamburger and fries. And Shane asked him, he said, Wayne, should you be having that? He said, well, I got 65 years out of that first heart, and I figure I'm good to go. So he was going to enjoy himself regardless.
Yes, he was.
And he did.
He sure did.
Yes, he did.
He sure did. Who is, you never want to throw shade for no reason. And there's been times when, people showed up and they weren't what we expected in maybe the other ways. Is there anybody like, what's probably one of the things that sticks out the most about the booking process or, managing people's expectations and stuff like this, like, because this is a full-blown production. I mean, you guys are getting information. I mean, these things are scheduled. It usually takes, multiple times, multiple pieces of communication to get things scheduled, get the information that we need, build out the hot sheets. We call them hit sheets here. That's what's always on my desk that I'm looking at. You can hear me moving it around my notes that I go off of and whatnot. There's a lot that goes into it when you're dealing with Vanderbilt or Belmont or Lipscomb or the Titans or the NFL or whatever. Like, there's a standard.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Like Jeff Fisher, having him in was great, but obviously you're dealing not with Jeff directly, you're dealing with their people, and they're getting, they're like, look at the announcement that they made right after he was in here. Yeah. Filming that episode, and I guess he couldn't talk about it at the time, but it happened right afterwards. And it's like, man, that's incredible. We knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Who else was? Anybody else stand out that just really like, man, that was a cool experience? Anybody that stands out to you? I'll tell you one.
There were probably several, and it just
one of my favorite. Obviously, having my wife and son on, my dad, that was great. I asked my mom; she's chickened out on us at the last second. I'm gonna get her. But for me, Chris Kirkpatrick was a great time. From
speaking of down to earth, I thought he was all the things he's done and the places he's been and who he knows and what he's still involved with, and he was very. I think you probably get the expectation of some people that maybe once they've done a lot of these things, that maybe they're better than everybody else.
Yeah.
And I've really not run across that many people that acted that way.
That's right.
It's been kind of amazing in that respect.
And refreshing, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Chris Kirkpatrick was a big day for me, just from when I grew up. His band, NSYNC, was arguably the largest act on the planet at any given time on the planet. He's played the biggest stadiums on earth. That's cool. Just getting there is incredible. And he was a blast, such a fun time. And it felt like nothing was off the table talking to him.
Oh, I think he said that straight out.
Yeah, that's right. Who are some other folks that kind of stood out for you? Blaine Bishop, that was one person we got kind of early, which was what made this podcast happen is through the connections that I had and then even some that my dad had. I was able to get some people early that really kind of set the standard.
Yes.
Lester McLean was a great one.
Yes. Very interesting gentleman, and a lot of people don't know about.
Yep. There's literally a statue of him at Neyland Stadium standing today outside of Neyland Stadium. So Lester was the first black player to score a touchdown in the SEC and the first one for the Tennessee Vols, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Went to Antioch High School here, was a teammate of my dad's, had a great career at State Farm. One of the coolest, and like that guy would be what we call a badass. He's a badass, and he's been a badass his entire life at everything he did. Right, and that was when we got early. Ace and Diana DeGarmo, DJ Silver. Those were people that were kind enough to come on early.
And you picked up a lot of, like you say, your connections in the sports, the hospitality industry. You made some connections there, in the course of business. Between you and your dad, I'm not sure there's many people in Nashville that one of you doesn't know.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And like, beyond.
And how many times will I bring somebody in because it's like, all right, so there's a relationship to be had with that person, and like I'm having a hard time pinning them down, so we're just going to talk about it on the air. We're going to figure it out on the air. We're going to build that relationship. Then this is the podcast for me, besides from reach and reaching people and making money. It's like, what else does it do for me? Well, it gives me a chance to invest equity into relationships with people. Like, so that's the biggest thing is like relationships. The best relationships you have, you've invested the most in. So for me, there's how many total guests was it? 219? 219 people that I've been able to invest in. Mm-hmm. So when I see them in public, we're on a first name basis now. And it's like, hey, so-and-so. And they shake my hand, we hug it out. Like it's cool. It's like a club.
And of those 219 people, how many more folks do they know that you have been connected with off air?
Facts. That's exactly right. And it's too many to count.
Yeah.
It's too many to know.
It's like a giant commercial.
Absolutely. We need a giant commercial. I like commercials.
And trophies.
That's right. I like commercials and I like trophies. That's right. Dale, what's some I'm just sitting here. Let me pull up my my notes right here. So I was trying to think. Jensen, is there anybody else that kind of stands out that was like? Let's talk about the Tim Shaw episode for a minute.
An ultra impressive individual.
Well, so let's tell a little bit of backstory about that. Yeah. That was you talk about a booking team and a production team truly flexing their skills. So, folks, if you don't know, Tim Shaw is the former captain of the Tennessee Titans. That pretty much he's the guy that pretty much started the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. He's not able to speak, hasn't been able to speak for a while. He's one of the faces leading the charge against ALS. And so when we were booking him, again, he doesn't speak, right? So, and we have to get quite a bit of information from them. So knowing that, like, for him to answer a question, he answers it with his eyeballs through a computer. So it takes some time. It took us, about 4 hours to film that entire episode?
It was a while, yeah.
And, getting the information from him, we had to get him his questions ahead of time so that he could answer them by typing with his eyeballs, and then the computer would read back out the answers. So I would ask the question. He would have to navigate through to cue the answer, and it would play. So the editors had to go in and put all that together. Normally on a podcast, we might edit the intro, the outro. If there's something in there that's factually incorrect and the guest asks us to remove it, we might. But out of 200 episodes, I think maybe 195 of them have never been touched other than they've been mastered, We've mastered audio, mastered the video elements, put the intro and the outro and the ads in, and boom, it's published, right? So it's very rare that we edit anything. That one
unless
right there.
Unless it was the first episode.
Unless it was the first episode, that's right. But on that one, like, we were really flexing our skills. It took 4 hours. He's in a chair. Mm-hmm. We had to make room for that. Literally, the scratches on the screen behind you, we've colored them with Sharpie, but that was where he was leaving, and it's tight in here, and in the chair about took the TV with it. But, like, man, what a cool episode. And making that, it just goes to show you. When Bobby Pinson performed his brand new single, first one in like 15 years at the time or something like that, called The Shave, we'd never recorded audio, a performance in here before, and it turned out really good. Yeah. When we first incorporated our ads in there, we're filming ads after this episode today. We're going to film a couple ads. Like, that's become a big part of our business and a big part of our reach. And it's just it's a great messaging platform. What responsibilities, Dale, would you say that we have assumed here at the Hitstreak and even the Hit Lab that we didn't used to maybe carry before, that we didn't even consider before? Have you thought about that?
Oh, wow. In what regard are we talking about? As far as the episode itself, keeping up with the...
I think we have a basic set of principles that we everything is kind of run through, that's gauged by. We're all about giving people a hand up, not a handout, right? We're all about, we give as much as anybody, but now we're to a place where you can only give so much before some's got to come back.
Yeah.
So like that's probably been the biggest thing is in the beginning, anybody that needed a helping hand, we could step up. But now we can't there's so many people asking, holding hands out, that we can't do that.
That's probably the biggest change in the whole deal is, like I said, when at first you had a list of people that we wanted to go get.
Yeah.
Now they're coming to us, and
we were recruiting in the day.
Yes. Went from recruiting to vetting.
Yep. Qualifying.
So, and you probably don't think about it, but I mean, there is a responsibility of who you have on now that you have sponsors and so forth.
Audience.
As to what's said.
We have a 7-figure audience. Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's much different now than it was, for sure.
We have to, the Hitstreak has a brand now, and we have to protect that brand, right? We in the beginning we could just throw anybody in there if we wanted to.
So like the NFL, protect the shield.
That's it. Protect the shield. That's good.
Yeah.
Protect the shield. That might be an episode title in there when we're looking in there. Yeah, that's good. Protect the shield. I love that. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe for more, and visit nickhyder.com.